to NERDtv for the Pete Polini Invitational here at the simulated Michigan International Speedway. This 2-mile, 4-turn, really fast track here with the truck seat. It's going to be a great show for you guys this evening for this Pete Polini Invitational. It's a new scene for NERDtv, and we're definitely looking forward to it. Huge field, a lot of hype for this event. This is going to be an awesome show. Weather on the track right now looking pretty good, minus the track temperature. This is kind of crazy. If you've been watching our broadcast on Mondays, typically the temperature in the track is about 20 or 30 degrees warmer. Not tonight. 126 degrees on the surface at the moment, 79 in the sky. We know that track temp will drop, but as this race starts, you're going to see a lot of slipping, a lot of sliding. Should be a lot of action for this 100 lap race here. My name is Jay Stan, aka Jeremy. You're going to have to call me Jeremy or Jay Stan though, because on my shoulder tonight is another Jeremy, Mr. Jeremy Kors. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. I think you hit the nail right on the head on that with the track temps. I've been watching that throughout the practice tonight. I'm so excited for this. A massive field at a fun track. There's going to be drafting. There's going to be a lot of 3-wide racing, multi-groove. We love it. We love to see it. 126 degrees on the track. It's going to make for a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Maybe not so much for the drivers, at least early on, but yeah, for us here in the booth, we don't have to worry about that. It makes things that much funner. And, this track used to not be my favorite, but as I keep running here and seeing races here, it just becomes such a multi-groove track. The third groove on this surface, even though there's not a true multi-groove surface in iRacing, this place offers it. So you're going to see people in the bottom, middle, not like the fourth groove at the very top, but the third groove kind of kicks in late in the run. So it's going to present awesome racing nonetheless.
Definitely. And one thing to keep in mind about Michigan, too, especially with the track temps where they're at, you're going to see a lot of people start to kind of migrate longer in the runs up the track because it does get really slippery. So turn 1, generally there's going to be a groove up. There's a banking change there, so you won't see too many people go down to the yellow, but you'll start to see as the runs go longer that they start to migrate up the track because it's just, the bottom line is it's just easier to handle the truck. So it's going to make for some really interesting racing, and it's Michigan is just one of those tracks I've always loved. It's my home track, so I can't wait for this one.
And also, too, I want to give a shout out to our producer over to the right shoulder of Coors is Mr. Dustin Logston. We usually don't see him on camera often anymore, but he's showing his face tonight for this Pete Polini Invitational.
Absolutely. I don't want to show it because, look at who I have next to me, man. You guys are some good-looking gents. So, it's pretty tough. But either way, it's going to be an excellent show tonight. Michigan always poses a good track. I'm glad that the weather's a lot nicer there than what it actually is in Michigan right now. So that's always a plus. It's going to be, good stacked field, great track, fast track. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And right before we go back over to qualifying, which should be popping up here in the next 30 seconds or so, we have Scott Martin in the booth as well. He'd like to go over a couple words with why we are here for this Pete Polini Invitational. Scott, do you have a copy?
I do. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
Really appreciate you guys taking your time to help us out tonight. Pete Polini, great friend to the race world, known by a lot of the guys in the iRacing racing simulator doing the short track stuff, right? Ended up having to deal with cancer about almost 2 years into this now. And after his first round of radiation and everything that he had to go through, he lost his ability to walk and to speak. And he's trying to relearn how to do both of those things right now. And of course, he's pretty stubborn. He's doing really good. He's got some other things going on at the moment. Either way, he hasn't been able to work for about 1.5 years, and we're just trying to help the guy out. Hey, so, here's the good news. I know that at midday today, I think, over $1,600 directly donated to Pete Polini via the people that hit the link from this race. So that's awesome. So anyway, it's going to be a good night. Fun night.
Yeah, fun night. And it's definitely for a great cause there for Mr. Pete. That's a big chunk of change that's coming from the sim world,
Yes, sir.
Showing that huge support for Mr. Polini. So that's awesome to hear. Glad to report. That's a good amount of money there for him.
And then something very unique for tonight, too. We actually have Shelley's Rainbow Bar right here in Ishpeming, Michigan. It's a bar that Pete has played in many times in the band Stranded. They got a live cam going up tonight, so we'll be able to peek in there and see what those guys are into. And there's a band playing there, kind of throwing a little tribute to Pete. So they're going to be partying. We're going to be racing. It's going to be a good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this from all different angles here. But we are on
look,
qualifying.
I'm Dustin Logston, sorry.
Oh, I guess Dustin did really want to join us. All right. I see Dustin
No,
over there.
I was giving the floor to the man that was talking.
He got out of here so fast.
All right, well, clear me out of there. I got to go. Thank you guys for sticking around and calling the race.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, this is qualifying here. So we're going to watch a couple lap times and see how these guys are looking on this really hot surface at 126 degrees still while they're on the track here. And there's a lot of good times out there, Jeremy. I don't know who to really look after right now. Fastest in practice, Adam Gillant. In that 2 Ford F-150. He's looking pretty stout there in that Moonlight Speed truck. And I think he's on lap number 1 here. Let's see what kind of lap time he posts as he goes through turn 3 and 4 for us here.
I've raced against a lot of these guys personally. There's definitely a few out there that are really, really going to be fast. Ethan Lane out there, Andrew Navarro is always a threat. I think I saw Garrett Maines in there somewhere, so obviously he's going to be one to watch. But yes, Adam Gillette had posted some really fast practice times, so he should definitely be one to watch as well.
Hey, I want to break in too. The chats are lighting up. Hey, you know what? We love that. We love the interaction. And these two gentlemen here, because I'll be going behind the scenes and doing the production, but these two gentlemen here will definitely shout you guys out. Anytime you guys get on there, they'll try to keep up with it. I did have Nicholas Rodriguez did ask, can I donate? Absolutely. That little QR code you see up in the top left of your screen right now. Take your phone out, snap a picture, takes you right to the PayPal link for Pete Polini. Donate whatever you would like. That goes directly to Pete. No one else sees that.
Yeah, and that should be up there for the most of the event too. So at any point in time, if you want to bring that phone out, feel free to do so. Anything is appreciated.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Gurgy, roasted Jim's coffee is good.
Who was actually on a team with Pete for a while. Yeah, we're all looking forward to getting him back and helping him relearn and just kind of get back into what he loves to do. So anybody that wants to help, definitely scan that QR code. I know he would appreciate it, and we certainly do as well.
Absolutely. And I got to thank a couple people before we kick it over to the race. We got about 2 minutes left in qualifying. Most of the drivers out there have taken time, just minus a few of them that are doing so right now. I'll do a quick shout out to Martin Sports over at martinsports.gg. Small company with a big time product, home of the gloves of all sim racing. Martin Sports makes the most breathable and durable gloves on the market for the sim racing world specifically, specializing also in customized sublimation printing on everything from team uniforms, shirts, hoodies, and allow for zero restriction on colors, which is made for the absolute fastest turnaround in the business. Check out their full apparel and merchandise lineup at martinsports.gg. Super nerd at checkout. It's going to save you 25% off. Shout out to iRacing iFlag, the official flag partner for the Nerditudes. Standard for open source race marshaling light board system. It's a lot of words that just means it's going to take care of all your iRacing notifications, up to 30 of them, I do believe. And it comes on an LED light strip or a 3D printed device that sits on your desk. Either way, it's going to keep your focus on the track and what's in front of you, because this thing is so bright. It makes it feel like it's one of those little light systems that are on the actual track's catch fence. So if you like the unique product to kind of complete your sim rig, head over to iRacingIFlag.com. Once again, that Super Nerd checkout codes this time is going to save you 15% off. And then lastly, Roasted Jim's Coffee, official energy partner for the Nerditudes. Roasted Jim's Coffee offers premium quality, ethically produced coffee gems from the different parts of the world, coupled with delicious blends and flavors that'll make your taste buds melt with delight. Roasted Jim's Coffee is the only place to quench your caffeinated coffee desires. Roasted Jim's Coffee values your coffee experience, with each order roasted to perfection upon order and shipped straight to your door for peak flavor. So go head over to roastedgems.com. We got the checkout code Super Nerds. This time it's going to save you 10% off. And guys, looks like everyone's starting to line up for tonight's grid here. presented by iRacing iFlag. Looks like Andrew Navarro going to be taking P1, and Adam Gallant in second place. Ethan Lane's going to qualify in third. Fourth place, you're going to find Clint Stone. Fifth place, Garrett Maines. Sixth place, Bradley Wilson. Seventh place, Braxton DeWeese. Eighth place, Kenny Coppola. Ninth, Tyler Marble. And round out tonight's top 10 on the starting grid, Brandon Gagnon.
Taking in the 11th place here in row 6, Brandon Zimmerman, Clayton White in 12th, David Douthwaite in 13th, Jeffrey Marble in 14th, Miles Morse in 15th, Edward Marshall 16th, Bradley Stefane 17th, Brian Whitney 18th, Scott Bryant in 19th, and TJ Lane in 20th.
21st, you're going to find Jeremy Garan. 22nd, Dustin Sorber. 23rd, Jeffrey Wallace. 24th place, Tim Tripler. 25th, James Watson. 26th, Tim Wortman Jr. 27th, Andrew Rennick. 28th place, William George. 29th, Jeffrey Eddy. And tonight's top 30, Kenny Haight.
Matt Malone going to be in 31st, Jonathan Cadell in 32nd, Mario Ercolani in 33rd, Jason Maines in 34th, and then it looks like the rest is Joe Campbell, Matthew Keechley, sorry if I butchered that one, Garrison Ogburn, and Ronnie Holmes.
Yeah, those guys, the final 7 cars, or trucks rather, did not qualify, so they got randomly assorted through the rest of the field there. These guys are now rolling off of pit road. That means we got 1 lap before these guys head off to the green flag for 100 laps here at Michigan. I know we talked about briefly the excitement for this race. What do you think strategy is going to look like, Jeremy? What's the pit window look like, and what do we think is going to happen tonight?
I think for a lot of people, especially in starting in the middle of the pack, right around 9th through maybe 15th, it's going to be to survive. It's going to get shaky back there. We don't, as a driver, you really don't know who's going to take which line early, who's going to hook up with who, because draft does mean a lot here at Michigan. So it's going to be to survive. Up front is just consistency. Try not to burn those tires up to get that right front too hot too early, or you will fall off. So Michigan is one of those tracks that seems easy to drive, but there is a lot of strategy that goes into it. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the different strategies out there. You got quite a few different teams and teammates out there. It's going to be interesting to see who hooks up with who.
And that's what's so great about this track being multi-groove too. If your truck's not comfortable in one spot, you can move up. It is a fixed setup, though people have different driving styles. You can have the same setup and have a complete different tire wear situation at the end of a run, just because if you drive aggressive in one corner versus the other, if you like to slide up, if you like to keep down low, either way, we're going to see all sorts of action tonight. Pace car is down, waiting for that green flag. Andrew Navarro is going to start this thing off. Green flag is out. We are underway for the Pete Polini Invitational 100.
It's like Andrew taking it down, and he's going to cut this shallow early. I was interested to see what the 26 was going to do there. That is, I believe, Garrett Maines. Have to correct me on that one if I'm wrong. Numbers are a little off.
Yeah, Garrett Maines, 5th all the way up to 2nd, already running right behind Andrew Navarro here on the bottom lane as they head off into turn number 3 for the first time. We already see 2 wide, potentially 3 wide, as they're kind of sorting each other out about mid-pack, 10th through 15th. Looks like it's pretty stagnant there. And then back there in the back part of the field, probably 25th or so, there's still 2 wide, running pretty dicey. And right now, Garrett Maines in the 31, heading off into turn number 1, trying to take the lead from Andrew already.
Push from Ethan Lane. Wow, look at that. Andrew sticking that thing down in the yellow, which is a lot more difficult than it looks at Michigan because there is a banking change there. So he's not getting much help, though, from Mr. Gillette. It looks like Garrett's going to get the lead here.
Garrett 5th to 1st in a lap and a half. Let's see if he can hold it through turn 3 and 4. It looks like Andrew trying to make some last little run here at the bottom, but you mentioned it, that first groove on the bottom of the track here, it's about a degree or 2 shallow compared to the upper lane. So you will. Yeah. That's why you see that mid to upper lane shift, because the bottom you can't hold it, especially on older tires.
Like Andrew's got a big push there down the front stretch. He was able to hold. He was able to get up tight there to Garrett. So we'll see how much side drafting we see too on the straightaways early. It's going to be interesting to see. Not too aggressive though so far. Garrett's holding really steady up top there. I'm just wondering how long he can hold that line and run that high line and not burn him up.
Yeah, right now the low side is definitely showing off as you see the pole sitter Andrew Navarro take back the lead on lap number 3 away from Garrett Maines. Garrett made such a great run those first 2 laps to get to that position. You got to wonder if he's going a little too hard, a little too early. 3 wide here for 6th and 7th. It looks like 51, the 99, and the 8. They kind of settled the 51, that being Bradley Wilson, makes a great run and even gets some good draft assistance down the backstretch. He's going to slingshot all the way up almost into 3rd.
Yeah, Clint Stone made a huge run there from it looks like that second pack was just a little bit back, made a huge run and pulled the rest with him. So they got in there and mixed it up early. Bradley Wilson just sticking that thing to the wall up there. So much fun to watch. Look at this, 3 wide down the front stretch. Adam Gillette, he's holding that bottom line really, really well. Him and Andrew have been down there all race so far. So it's going to be interesting to see which strategy works out here.
These guys have been 3 wide since turn 3, and we're coming off of turn number 2. They're sticking at 3 wide, but the number 2 there of Adam just can't hold it off the bottom on exits. So now it's a 2x2 for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And the guys right behind them are single file temporarily. As the 2 says, wait, hold on. I want to go back to 3 wide here coming into turn number 4.
Yep.
31 just can't do it with the 51 there on the top. Mr.
No help. They got him out to dry here, Jay Stan. There's see that push. The draft means so much here. It's crazy. Not only do you have obviously more speed in the draft, but it's you actually save more fuel. So the draft plays a lot. It plays a huge role here at Michigan, and it's going to be interesting to see how hard these guys want to push it up front early.
We're on board right now with Braxton DeWeese as we head off into turn number 3. You see right in front of him that 53 and that burnt orange machine of Clayton White. He made a great move there. He was really high up in 1 and 2, utilizing that 3rd groove already, and it's working to his advantage as he's now side by side with that 26, looking to make a gain here on the front stretch.
Wow, really good racing so far up front. Super clean. Man, Michigan is just it's one of those tracks. One mistake because the speeds are so high, but these guys are really holding their lines, holding it steady. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. We got 100 laps of this.
And the trucks are so much fun, too. For some reason, they just produce much better racing than I think any other major stock car here on the service. And we're going to see this type of racing all race long, all 100 laps. We're only on lap number 7.
Wilson taking the lead from Andrew Navarro up here. So how about that? These 3, if they're not careful behind these 3, you're going to see them come out to and get quite a gap out front here. The Bradley Wilson, Adam Gillette, and Andrew Navarro. So they gotta sort it out behind them, or they're gonna lose them.
Speaking of sorting out, they're kind of stacked up right behind the 31 here. Garrett Maines, Etheline right behind him, that 53 and that born orange thing, and then a couple guys behind him. Turn 1 looked like it was pretty stacked. They kind of sorted out on the exit of turn number 2, as they're now only 2x2 for only a couple cars. But behind them, right out just inside the top 10 and even a little bit back further, 2 wide, you're seeing 3 wide temporary with a 14.48. And it cuts them off there on corner exit. That was a close one, but hard racing all the way through lap number 9 so far.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. I'm interested to see, like it's like I was telling you pre-race, that if you're stuck in the middle, you just gotta kind of survive and try not to burn your stuff up early.
Little contact there. It looks like it was with Braxton coming off the corner. Going to shuffle him back a couple spots here as he's running around the outside. I think he just dropped back just outside the top 10. Let's see if he can regroup and get those positions back. But small contact, couple of positions there for Braxton.
A little love tap there, but he looks like he's okay. No damage. He'll be able to just tuck right in and draft here. So, and he is too. Look at that. Look at him hugging that 48 Tyler Marble, pushing him down, and they overtake the bottom there. So that's really what it's all about here, is just trying to keep it steady, getting in that draft, and not letting the guys in front of you pull out to too far of a lead.
Quick shout out here to Moonlight Speed
Contact.
Big contact.
Yes, that was. I'm trying to find it here. Somebody got into the wall back here.
Yep, caution is out for the first time this evening on lap number 10. We'll have to see exactly where that happened. I did not see a car around just yet, but
it was the 73. of Miles Morse coming off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, it looked like his car on my end was kind of blinking in and out. But yeah, 3 wide off of turn number 2. Snags, it looks like the 28. You see it on the screen here. His internet was kind of in and out. And you see right there on the camera angle, nothing but smoke. But came up, hit the 28, shuffled around, and choked up quite a few of the drivers. And if we get another angle on that one, there's a lot of excellent driving to avoid that wreck on the top half. There could have been 5 or 6 trucks easy.
Yeah, I was just searching through that, and I looked from the blimp, and man, did everyone get out of the way so fast. That was beautiful. It was great driving there.
We're kicking back over to the replay and see right here the wreck here. It kind of initiated right there at the 73 and the 28. And after they made contact, you see it right here. Look at those guys. I see one guy make extra contact. Everybody else just yanked the wheel so hard to the left.
That is very, very difficult to do. They may make it look easy, but that is split second reactions there to avoid that. That's some great stuff, but it's a shame with Morse and who was it? Where with him? It was the 72, right?
Yeah, I think you're correct there at the 72. There was so much going on right there. I didn't pick up the exact number, but
28. Yep,
28.
So that's tough luck there. We're only 10 laps in, 12 laps in now. So you got to get that fixed and do the best you can. Keep yourself in contention.
You do have that fast repair in the bank too. So you don't want to use it on lap 10, but if you have to use it, you have a option. And as these guys are making their pit stops and cycling through this caution, we're going to kick over to a commercial break for you guys. Get a word in from our partners, and we'll be back here shortly.
The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
All right, welcome.
Shout out Shelley's.
You don't get the short end of the stick the second time.
Quick shout out while we're underneath the second caution this evening to the two bars, the establishments and patrons turning into this event in Negaunee, Michigan at Smarty's Saloon, and also Ishpeming, Michigan at Shelley's Rainbow Bar. Thank you. Yes. I picked it up right as I stuttered. I knew it was going to happen at least one time.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if we can pull their camera up, but the band's about 3 minutes from going live over there. They're having a little bit of a bash celebrating Pete Polini. Got the race on the big TV.
Yeah, they had their camera live, and I think someone misclicked one window, and it took the camera off temporarily. So if we can get an awesome view of that, that'd be great. We'll keep an update on that. But yeah, that's cool to hear that they're playing a whole different band event style thing for Pete Polini, as well as us doing this invitational tonight. It's really good to hear.
Pete's a pretty well-liked guy here locally. This band has shown their support for him a few times doing some live events. Tonight, they just happened to be playing while we were having the race, so we're trying to combine the two over there at Shelley's Rainbow Bar, as well as Smarty's Bar over in Negaunee, Michigan. They're doing the same thing tonight. They've got a band live, and they're going to be trying to show Petey's race.
Shout out to the chats. We have a half a lap before we go back to green flag action on lap 18. We got Doug Middendorf in the chat saying, let's go, Brandon DeWeese. We got 7 Seas Events saying, let's get it, Navarro. All for Pete. Phantom in the chat awesome. Saying, shout out to my boy, Miles Morse. Good luck, everybody. Casey pulling for Brian Whitney. Just a bunch of different people with a bunch of different cheerleading squads out there. It's great to see it. Keep bringing all the action to the chats. We love to see it, man.
It is. It's nice when everybody comes together for a good cause, too. And we do have a lot of racing left to go. So this is going to be a lot of fun here. Here comes the start. Navarro's going to lead him back. Bradley Wilson to the outside here. Good jump for Navarro. Let's see how big of a push that Clint Stone can give Bradley Wilson, try to keep them up. The problem with starting on the inside like that is you get such a good jump, but those guys hook up on the outside, and the guy behind you maybe isn't with them, so sometimes it can actually work to your disadvantage.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew took a page out of the 51. Bradley Wilson's book. That last restart, the 51, just crushed it. The 42 said this time, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing, and he got out to a true truck length advantage. Early start here. Makes it comfortable for this first lap as they now catch him through draft. 51 almost looked like he wanted to go low, but keeps it on the high lane. 42 in the 2 on the bottom, 51 in the 99 on the top.
How about Kenny Coppola back there in 5th? He's had a pretty good race. Sometimes if we're not calling your name a lot, that's a good thing because he's ran really consistent. He's working his way up to the lead pack. And that's exactly where you want to be. These guys too wide up front, not doing themselves any favors. They had a little bit of a gap, but looks like these guys are going to be able to close the distance right behind them with Kenny Coppola.
Shelley's Rainbow Bar is now live. We got the camera feedback there in the lower left-hand corner of your screen as the band is getting ready to go live. From what Scott was saying for Pete Polini. See a couple people waving out there.
Yeah, they are.
As we got a lead change potentially happening, Navarro back down to the bottom of Wilson, and at the line, 1/1000th of a second goes to the 42. Andrew Navarro takes the lead on lap 20.
Yeah, I got my eyes back on these guys right behind the lead pack here. We got Ethan Lane, Garrett Maines, Tyler Marble, and don't forget about Brandon Gagnon. He's one of those guys I've raced against quite a bit. He's very, very patient. He will save his stuff for a whole run and all of a sudden start passing people. So watch out for Gagnon back there in 10th place as well.
Yeah, that's where the strategies have, especially at these really large sweeping corners at Michigan. You mentioned the tire wear earlier in the pre-race there by Martin Sports, and you really have to. You have two strategies. You run in the back and then come through as the run closes before you have to make that pit stop, or you just go all in and hope maybe there's a caution early, or maybe your tires hopefully can stick it out. This track is one of those tracks where you notice it more than others, just because the corners are fast, they're sweeping, and you have to take it super easy, or else you get shuffled to the back so quick, even after like 10 or 15 laps into a run.
Bradley Wilson dives it to the inside of turn 3 here. It looks like Andrew's going to cross him over. See, and that's kind of what you're talking about is, if you go into the corner super hard, it's more on your right front, whereas Navarro took it really patient, but most of the weight and most of the stress on his right rear was able to cross him up coming out of turn 4 there and take back the lead. So this is going to be an interesting race up here. Different strategies, different drive styles. We are in for it tonight. These guys are all super competitive. I've raced against them all. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Clint Stone back there looks like in 4th place, just kind of biding his time. And it's good to see Jeffrey Marble up there as well.
Colin Lawrence in the chat saying, "Bring her home, Gillette." And he was out trying to make it 3 wide there in the last lap, turn number 1, decided twice on it, comes through the backstretch and passes Bradley Wilson for 2nd place here on lap number 23. And now he's got his eyes set there on Andrew Navarro to try to take over this race lead.
Yeah, and he is he's doing a good job of sticking that to the bottom and taking it easy. Now, what I was looking at in practice is with these track temps, the track temps have only gone down 1 degree, so we're at 125 degrees. You're only going to get about 10 to 12 laps of really being able to stick that to the bottom and keeping that thing on the track. So it's going to be interesting to see which grooves, which drivers go where when the tires start to wear down and get hot.
And speaking of what's interesting too, first and foremost, shout out to Pete Polini. He is live watching us here on NERDtv for his own invitational race. So shout out to you, Mr. Pete. Glad to see you watching. The track temps, I was looking at those there, Jeremy. It's still 125 degrees. I mentioned earlier that the temps would drop down, but I guess Michigan is at its record temps here on the virtual world, 125 on the track still. That's a really hot, slick surface, 24 laps into this thing, and it's shown with these guys in this 3-wide action right now on the front stretch. They're not steady. These guys are moving around left to right a little bit. So you got to really make sure you keep your stuff nice and clean for this long run.
They're not holding anything back right now. These guys are in it to have that. It looks like they're just honestly having a lot of fun out there right now. Kind of makes me wish I was out there driving because that looks like a lot of fun. Oh, we got a caution.
Third caution, lap number 25 this evening. Back here in the back, Jonathan Cadell looks like he is around. They're in turn number 1. It was 3 wide. Came up to the shifted a little high there on the 9. See who that was there in that black and pink machine. Collected him, spun himself front, hit the wall kind of hard. It really slowed down his truck right there. You hit it and just hits it quite a few times. That's going to be a fast repair, I think, for Mr. Cadell.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's 3 wide racing. It's really kind of hard to tell who's at fault for things like that. I'm just kind of looking at it right now, and I don't know. The 9 was kind of coming down. The 9 of William George there. It looks like he was just trying to take his corner arc. Cadell had a little bit wider arc into turn 1 there, and they just got together. And that's how it goes when you're 3 wide racing.
Yeah, you said you guys are having a lot of fun, and you wouldn't see this in a points race. You would definitely see more of 1 and 2 wide situations, not 3 wide. But when you're having fun for a invitational style race, you want to make the most of it. And sometimes when you do that, there's some miscommunication on the track as to where you're supposed to be, and that happens, man. That's what that fast repair is there for, because it's here for the fun. Get themselves regrouped and set back up for the next run, as we're now a fourth of the way through this event. And I also want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors for tonight's event as well. This time going out to BRTV, Burnt Rubber Productions, better known as BRTV, the voice of sim racing, housing a full-stop broadcasting crew for the iRacing.com platform. If you're making a league look amazing as your goal, then BRTV also has you covered. As these guys get grouped up.
Yeah. I'll take the next one as well. We'll do one more quick shout out to Moonlight Speed. Moonlight Speed is a leading name in quality, affordability, and professionalism. With a staff of decorated, distinguished, and dedicated setup builders, Moonlight Speed delivers top-notch race and championship-winning setups to the iRacing garages across the simulation community. Check out their subscription plans at moonlightspeed.com. The only thing they chase is moonlight.
These guys exiting pit road here. It looks like Navarro's going to take the top spot. Came down first, going to leave first place. They're in that 42.
That was close.
It was pretty close there between him and the 51. Then everybody else, there's nowhere near these two. How'd they get out of the pit road so much faster than everybody else?
Like Clint Stone and Bradley Wilson were inches from each other coming off of pit road as well.
Yeah, it's race to the line there. The first couple stalls, they're in pit road, and so as they're coming up to speed, who cannot spin the tires the most? They get on that launch. It looks like Clint got the best of Adam that time. It's going to move him up to third for this restart.
Yeah, correct. There's a lot to it. It really depends on the track, because there's some tracks where your setup is geared differently, and this is one of those tracks where your first gear is pretty shallow. So, yeah, it's tough to not spin those things coming out of your stall. It can cost you, even if it's 1,000th, it can cost you, and that's probably what separated those two. So, it looks like Ronald Holmes stayed out. I don't know if he's planning on going back in, but he will drop very fast if that's the case. Maybe somebody from race control can give us an idea of how many sets of tires there are tonight. But
yes, as we get that number, Holmesy, as he goes by, looking like he's gonna try to wing this thing out. He's seen the trend, 3 cautions already. He maybe he's banking on the fact there's going to be a few more. But before we go back to green flag action, we're just going to do a quick recap of tonight's top 10 by NERDtv. Ronald Holmes gets himself randomly plugged in here by staying out. Let's see what kind of strategy that's going to prevail for him. Andrew Navarro, of course, running up there in the top 5 all race long with a dominant truck. Bradley Wilson also on that same page there. He's going to be restarting in 3rd place. 4th place, you're going to find Clint Stone with a good launch off of Adam, who is now in 5th place on this restart, exiting that pit road. 6th place, you're going to find Garrett Maines. 7th, Kenny Coppola. 8th place, Jeffrey Marble. 9th place, Ethan Lane, which, by the way, he's up to 26 on the truck, 54 on the scoreboard. So if you can get those numbers mixed up, that's why. And round out tonight's 10th place on this restart, Tyler Marble. And race
unlimited
control.
Sets of tires.
Yep, unlimited.
Yeah,
So
I was just popping back. Thank you.
Okay, so that's interesting that Holmes wouldn't go in if there's no limit on the tires, but hey, maybe he's thinking there's going to be another caution, trying to play a fuel game. You never know.
as we go back to green flag, Holmesy with a great restart here over everybody. Maybe just banking on the cautions. We'll have to see here in the next 5 or 10 laps just how fast that 3 machine does fall back, as Bradley and Andrew all to the top with Clint as well. Quickly just deletes Holmesy out of the lead, and he's going to drop back to 5th or 6th here before we get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, he's probably just gonna pull down to the bottom here and let these guys go around. What was that? About a 14 lap run there. So yeah, his tires are going to be significantly worse. We're looking at, with 14 laps, you're probably looking at almost a second of fall off. So interesting strategy. I'm not sure if he's just hoping for a quick caution or not. Look at Garrett Maines sticking it 3 wide through the middle here. He's going to try to get below Clint Stone.
Still 3 wide. Makes the lead 3 wide. Oh, the 42 almost wanted to slide up. Had to check up there. It's going to slow him off the corner exit. And now Garrett Maines and the 99 of Clint Stone side by side for the race lead.
Wow, what a move there by Garrett Maines. Clint Stone holding it up top. His dirt driving experience there probably came into play, because he stuck that thing up to the top right around the wall there, and he just rode it out. He's got the lead because of it. So good move there by Clint.
Yeah, excellent move there. And they're single file for the first few trucks, and now they're side by side behind them. Quick in the chats, you got Jeff Brown from iRacing iFlag saying, good luck to the drivers. Mike Orth with Let Go Braxton. And then 7 Seas Event saying the Navarro family here in Florida, all rooting for Pete. So are we, and everybody else a part of this Invitational, all rooting for Pete in the long haul. This is why we're here, to help him get through his times in need. Going back to the action, they've kind of single filed out there, Mr. Coors. Kind of a different scene that we've seen from previous restarts.
Yeah, you're starting to see some of these guys. Some of them mix it up. Looks like Navarro got loose on the bottom there, kind of sent him back. But you're starting to see some of these other guys up front tuck in a little bit earlier than they were before. Clint Stone got out to the lead, obviously, but Gillette has just kind of stuck right on his bumper, and that's really the right move. Kenny Coppola, Jeffrey Marble, and of course Garrett Maines now. As I say that, the commentator's curse. He's going to take him to the inside here. But yeah, you're going to start to see these guys single out, try to get a little bit of room, I think.
Yeah, you caught me on that one, Doug. I don't want to be the next one reporting from Talladega, but you caught me there. And yeah, reporting on Holmesy there, who started in first place. In 2 laps, he went from first to 31st. 30 positions dropped. So clearly, even the short runs, you don't want to skip on those tires because, well, you're seeing it there. It's a huge fall off. So I know he's begging for that caution right now.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if he was trying to play a fuel game and maybe try to get the quick caution, but even then, I'm not sure that that's the move. But we'll see how it pans out here. I just kind of thought off the top of my head that it would be like a limited tire set situation, but without it, not exactly sure what was going on there. It looks like these guys are just mixing it up front right now. Trying to see who the gap is.
Yeah, Adam right now, Mr. Gillette there in first place, taking over this time on lap 34. About a 5 truck length advantage over second place Clint Stone at the moment. Third place, Mr. Coppola. He's been running just around the top 10, but this restart, he's been showing off some speed there, Jeremy. Finding himself right now in podium position.
Yeah, he's run a really good race. I think I mentioned him at the end of the last caution. Very consistent up front, staying in the draft. Him and Bradley Wilson seem to be working together pretty well up there. I'm just looking at Andrew Navarro, a guy that was 1 and 2 the entire time. This tells me that he might be trying to play a fuel strategy here. What do we have? We have 35 to go. It could be a fuel strategy, honestly, because him and Garrett Maines are at the back of this pack here, and they're just enough to stay in the draft. It looks like 0.3 of a second is the interval right now between Garrett Maines and Andrew Navarro. So he could be trying to play fuel strategy. We're going to have to see exactly how that pans out. I don't see any damage, so...
If this run does go green, you are 100% correct, because we've already seen the speed from this truck, and he has not hit anything out there, to my knowledge, either. So caution is out, actually, lap 36. This is the 4th caution tonight, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. See exactly what happened on the track. These guys start to slow down. Looks like something happened maybe off the exit turn number 4. We're going to go to the replay and see exactly what happens here. Can't find it just yet. It looks like there's a huge gaggle of trucks there on exit of 3 and 4. Maybe that's where it came from. Yep. Oh, yeah, blue truck. See if I can get a close in on him. Yeah, Brian Whitney there in the 76. Coming off turn number 4, 3 wide with the 35 and 41. Doors the 41 a little bit. Got sandwiched, and then it got turned right into the outside wall, hits the 66. So 1 truck that spun out, a few with damage. I think most of those are going to be repairable. It should be no problem for those guys.
Oh, yeah. There was just, you get caught in the middle like that. It's kind of hard because you get squeezed. There's a lot of side drafting going on, and if you hit one of them, you're going to pinball off the other. So it looks like Brian Whitney, McDonald, and Ercolani were involved in that initially.
Yeah, thankfully that could have been a lot worse, as there's only a couple of guys with damage in total. 2 of the guys didn't really get hit too hard. It's just mainly Brian Whitney's damage. That's the 2nd caution I think he's been a part of in 4. He was also a part of, I think, the 2nd caution there off of turn number 3 before. As you see on board him right now on his roof camera. Little contact there by the 17. The guy in front of him, you see him coming down just a little bit, tags the truck on the inside, that 41, and then makes contact again because they were on the right-hand side of the camera. You see the damage there. on the 35 of
He
Malone.
hits Jeffrey Wallace there when he ricocheted up, and that's really that's really unfortunate because that's going to cause some aero damage on the back spoiler there. That's going to be a pretty difficult to handle truck for a while there for Mr. Wallace if he doesn't want to use a fast repair.
That's some great camera work by Dustin Logston, by the way, right there.
Mr. Scott Martin with the shout out for their producer.
Yeah, I'm going to keep coming in here interrupting you guys when I get a chance.
You know, if there's one person to come do that, sir, that's going to be you. I'll fully allow it.
I appreciate it. Not too bad race so far. A little more aggressive than what I thought that we would see with this field. A lot of time left, so surprised to see the tight 3 wides, but also saw some really good looking, 3 wide for about 2 laps right before that happened. So hopefully these guys get it sorted out.
It's like 2 rows of 3 wide action. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, plenty of room for it here. There's no reason why we can't do it.
Absolutely.
As these guys get kind of lined up here for the next lap or two before we go back to green flag action for the 4th restart this evening. Quick shout out to Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles. It's your one-stop shop for all things nerdy, from racing collectibles to trading card games of all forms, to Dungeons and Dragons, to action figures and beyond. Check out their full catalog at dustypetes.com.
Also, a quick shout out to Octorap.com, putting down some laps, winning some races, but not having the look needed to turn heads. Octorap is your place to get one-of-a-kind custom wraps for all of your iRacing needs. Visit Octorap.com to put in your request today.
1 lap to go before these guys set off for the 4th restart. Restart will be on lap 40. It's going to be 40 down, 60 to go at the green flag. And Adam Gillette this time is going to be leading the field as they head to this restart.
Yep, he's running a really, really good race up front. Looks like we got James Watson up there. I don't know if he took 2 tires or not. I haven't called his name yet. I could be completely wrong on that, but it would be an interesting strategy. I love it. I love the gambles, man. I'm here for it. Looks like we're going to do a top 10 recap here before we go green. Our top 10 is as follows: Adam Gillette, James Watson in 2nd, Kenny Coppola in 3rd, Clint Stone in 4th, Jeffrey Marble in 5th, Garrett Maines in 6th, Tyler Marble in 7th, Bradley Wilson in 8th, Andrew Navarro in 9th, and David Douthwaite rounding out the top 10.
Just 2 corners left before we go back to green flag action. Pit strategies have kind of, with these amount of cautions, have been... We'll have to see. We'll see what the strategies call for, because there's so many cautions. I don't know what the strategy looks like. I think we got about 1 green flag stop probably at this point if they can go green the rest of the way. So people have to kind of give their teams and go, hey, what do we need to do here now to get ourselves the victory lane? But the number 2, Adam Jill, with an awesome launch here as the green flag flies once again. Great start over James Watson there in 2nd place. The 99 is going to be all over his tail as they enter into turn number 1.
Yeah, there looks like Clint Stone's going to push it 3 wide here. Watson kind of slid up on him behind here. But a great start from Adam Gillette. Wow, he really pushed that thing in and out of turns 1 and 2 there. Looks like Garrett Maines is getting a huge push from Clint Stone. They're going to try to take this over from Kenny Coppola.
Quick shout out to Shelley's Rainbow Bar once again in Shippeming, Michigan, as these guys are staying tuned and enjoying the action on the track here for this Pete.
I'm not trying to laugh at you, Jay Stan. That is Ipshiman.
Oh, did I do it again? Yes. I'm gonna let you call that one out. Maybe I just don't have that thing, over there. But
it's a Michigan thing, man.
All right, yeah, I'll leave that one to you next time. But yeah, shout out to them once again. Even though I'm pronouncing the town wrong, it doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about.
Huge shout out to them for tuning in. We love them, man. For the support of them supporting Pete, stepping up huge. Just awesome from the people over at Shelley's.
And we're seeing the race lead here, 2 by 2 by 2 of these guys. And Garrett Maines this time said, you know what? I don't want to do that tire strategy thing. I want to get up to the front. as he's now side by side with Adam, and he's going to lead the charge here in turn number 1.
Bradley Wilson slid up right behind Adam Gillette. They kind of swapped there. That was crazy. Kenny Coppola really gave a huge push. Oh, we got contact. We got contact up front. Looks like Bradley Wilson in the wall there. That's not good.
One of the really fast guys out there, Kenny Coppola, comes over the radio and says, my fault. He did slide up into the nose of the 51. You saw the 99 of Clint drive really deep down below the white line to avoid any potential wreck. Those guys did not, though, as we remain green flag as we head off into lap number 43 this time.
Garrett Maines and Adam Gillette made contact there. That was insane. What a great save by Garrett Maines, and he somehow maintains the lead. That was unbelievable driving. That was a great save. So, I mean, these guys are just so much fun to watch. I can't believe we actually got contact up here, J-Stan. That was great. They've been running through white all race, and finally we get some contact up front.
Something has to give eventually, and it finally showed it. Thankfully, it wasn't much, but it was enough to shuffle the 51 back further. But, Maines had a check up there in turn number 3, and it shoved Adam really high there. And now they're 3 wide for second, third, and fourth here with the 99, 42, and the 2. As the 2 is a lone soldier there on the top, as the 26 now comes up to try to help him.
Andrew Navarro tucked that bumper right underneath the spoiler and pushed Garrett Maines on the outside there. It looks like Garrett just got a little bit loose on the bottom, slid up, and Adam Gillette with that, basically what he did is he just took it to the high side and just said, hey, we'll live to fight another day on this one, and look at him. He's right back there in 3rd place.
Navarro temporarily takes over the race lead over Garrett Maines here on the high side this time. Adam remains on the high side as well. You see that 26 shift down low, trying to pass Adam here for 3rd place. His single-filed situation starts to pan out again here for this top 10. And caution out for the 5th time. Let's see where this one took place at. Don't see a wreck at the moment. As these racers, or these leaders, were trying to kind of sort things out. It's kind of simmer things down a little bit, and then a caution comes out, and we have to reline them up all again.
Like Garrison Ogburn back here, and the number 14 was where it started. I believe, could be wrong, but it's like on the back stretch. Oh, yeah, Garrison Ogburn and
that was an interesting situation there.
William George, yeah.
They had a lot of space around each other. It looked like nothing was going to happen. And the 14, Mr. Ogburn, just kind of came up into the 9 panel there and sent them both spinning around. Or at least the 14 anyways. He did not hit the wall. Just shoved him really far down. And so I think we should be okay. Doesn't look like any significant damage done to those trucks.
It looks like he had it saved, and then he hit the apron and turned it back around on the racing surface. That is why the caution came out. So, interesting.
I was curious about that. I saw him spin down, but then his truck disappeared on my camera angle, so I couldn't tell exactly. But if you were to spin out after hitting that apron transition, that'll definitely do it because you're right next to the racing surface. And iRacing officials don't like that.
No, I was going to leave it at that, but since you mentioned it, yes. It looks like he came up on the racing surface, just locked it up, got a little sideways off the apron and stopped on the racing surface. So we have our caution, and it looks like they're going to hit pit road right now. Navarro and Garrett Maines are going to lead them down. And we'll see what the strategy is here. 2 or 4.
All right, as these guys are under caution here, we're going to actually try to bring in one of our in-race reporters. We actually have 3 of them out tonight. We're going to try to bring in Mr. Tim Tripler, see if we can get a word in with him and how he's doing so far on the track. Mr. Tim, do you have a copy?
I do.
Hey, this is Jeremy up in the NERDtv booth. We've had a quite eventful race so far. From your perspective, how's this race going so far tonight?
It's going pretty good. I'm just trying to keep my team out of chaos and myself out of chaos as well, so hopefully we'll be there at the end.
That's what we're hoping to see, man. I wish you the best of luck. Yes, sir. As we moved him back down to get it with his team. Actually, before we go green flag here, I'd like to kick it over to a quick commercial break, get a couple shout outs to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
4, 3, 2, 1, green screen. I have no rear grip whatsoever. I'm sideways. Sideways everywhere. Come on, man. Do what you can. The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
Full screen coverage for the NERDtv broadcast of the Pete Polini Invitational, and Andrew Navarro with an excellent restart there over Ethan Lane, who's now found himself in second place for the first time this evening, as Garrett Maines does the switcheroo down to the bottom. Quick shout out for the people who have donated so far for Pete Polini. Almost $1,800 so far has been donated. So awesome job. Keep scanning that QR code there that's currently on the bottom right-hand portion of your screen. And as the caution comes out for the sixth time, we didn't get one green flag lap this time. I'm going to see who brought up this caution, presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Looks like somewhere on the turn 4 area. I think this is where the wreck initiated.
Bradley Stefan?
Oh, the 89, yeah.
Yeah, the 89 just got loose. He just got loose in the middle, and wow. Happens to the best of them on fresh tires. Look at that.
Yeah, just that's pretty. We haven't seen the looseness. I know the track's still at 122 degrees, but we haven't seen that kind of looseness from anybody just yet. Just got into turn 3, and that truck had no grip whatsoever. And you've seen it right there, a little bit of slow motion comes across the nose of the 73. And it brings in a couple other people. Looks like only slight nose contact. Shouldn't be anything to warrant there, but still faint.
He hit Brandon Zimmerman really hard on that initial one, though, and that's going to do some aero damage to the left side or the right side, excuse me, of Brandon Zimmerman's truck. That's unfortunate. That's kind of going back to what I said pre-race, Jay Stam, that if you're back in the pack, you just got to kind of survive. It's not good.
When you have a fun race like this, which we all appreciate and have a blast with, sometimes it gets a little too dicey. And that time was just an honest mistake. It wasn't like you were trying to go 3 wide and squeeze a gap. It was just an honest truck getting loose in the corner. And Brandon Zimmerman did nothing wrong there. Got to the bottom, was trying to make a pass, and then got door tagged. He's getting his pit road repairs made, so he's going to drop to the tail end to get that thing reset and hopefully back up to speed.
When you get fresh tires like that, and early on in these runs, it's important while your tires are cool to try to make up as much ground as you can. Sometimes you can drive it in a little bit. It's a no lift situation. You're not lifting going into turn 3 there. And when you're transitioning from turn 3 to turn 4, it can get a little squirrely, especially in the first lap and a half. And it looks like you said, it's an honest mistake, but it does happen.
We're going to see if we can try to bring in one of our in-race reporters as this thing kind of gets recycled and head down for the 5th restart this evening, or the 6th one rather. I'm going to bring in Mr. Kenny Haight. See if I can get him into our booth here. Mr. Kenny Haight, this is Jeremy in the NERDtv booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy, I do.
Long time no talk, man. You've been right in the middle of some of these incidents, so I wanted to kind of get your word on how's it been back there in your position so far about midfield?
You know, I'm back here. I'm doing my best. Pretty sure I'm one of the lowest I-rating guys in here. And, you know, hanging with some of these guys, it's kind of a good self-confidence boost for a race like this.
How is it? Hey, Kenny, it's the other Jeremy up here in the booth. How has it been trying to avoid some of these situations? Have you had luck with that? Have you used your fast repair yet?
I chewed a hole in my seat, but no, I haven't had to use my quick repair yet.
Well, that's good. That's good. Have any damage at all? You've been able to avoid everything back there? It's been a pretty chaotic from our view.
I think the second one I got wrapped up in a little bit, had a little bit of right front damage, but since then we've been able to get it taken care of, and I think the truck is back in perfect running order.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, keep up the good work out there, man. It's been interesting to watch from up here, and you know, you said it's a confidence booster. You might be able to get yourself a top 10 here if you work at it. So, best of luck to you.
Thanks.
And that was Mr. Stash, Kenny Haight there. He's running about midfield, 21st place. You know, 40 trucks entered this thing. He's in 21st, so right dead smack in the middle of the field as he tries to resume on forward with that extra confidence booster that I guess is what he needed coming to this event. But Andrew Navarro going to be starting P1 this time. Garrett Main's going to be starting in 2nd place. See what he can do with the 42 on these restarts. So far, the leader's been able to do an excellent start every single time. Let's see if they prove me wrong this time, as the flagman is early with the flag this time. Green flag is out. Not a bad start for the 31, but Andrew with an excellent start himself gets about a 2 truck length advantage as they head off into turn number 1.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Garrett Maines has done this a few times before. That was a pretty darn good start on the outside. He needs Clint to tighten up to him. Clint Stone right behind him. Trying to push him up to the front. Looks like Garrett might take the bottom here. No, he went back to the top. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So Ethan and Andrew Navarro, they race extremely well together. I've raced against them. I've watched them race in major events. When they hook up, it's generally curtains for most people. So let's see what these other guys behind them have to kind of make a charge at. I mean, you got some good drivers back there. Obviously, with Garrett, Clint Stone, Adam Gillette has run an amazing race so far. Jeffrey Marble still hanging back there. How about Braxton DeWeese in 7th and Brandon Gagnon in 8th?
Ethan Lane goes to the bottom of Navarro and temporarily takes the lead. Then Garrett Maines said, you know what? It is 3 wide time for the lead as they hail off into turn number 3. Looks like Navarro's going to maybe drop back below, and then Garrett Maines with a slide right in front of Ethan Lane, able to not make any contact. That's going to shift the 31 back, though, and Ethan Lane's going to lead this race on lap 55.
Oh, that bottom lane. Look how tight they were coming off of the corners. Just unbelievable racing. Wow. Between Adam Gillette, I mean, Andrew gave Ethan such a huge push there, and Adam was not far behind him. That's why you were able to see how fast they overtook them on the outside.
4 lead changes in 2 laps. Pretty impressive stuff here. That move from the 31 shifted him back from 3rd to 1st to 3rd as he's now going back to the inside of Ethan Lane, trying to regroup 2nd place, and Navarro resumes as a race leader, 2 truck lengths over that 54 of Ethan Lane.
Yeah, it looks like right behind him here, Jeffrey Marble's getting to the inside of Adam Gillette, so it looks like Adam's going to be hoping not to get shuffled out too far here as the leaders in front go single file.
A lot of single file action as I'm kind of peeking through the field. We got a couple of trucks side by side, 10th place, 15th. But these leaders so far have been the most dicey of them all as they are trying to get to that top spot in this invitational race. Because they know that's where all the TV time is, and that's where everyone wants to be, is P number 1. Right now, it's been an excellent race so far, 56 laps into this 100-lap invitational. As these leaders kind of single-filed out temporarily, off on the bottom side here on the front stretch coming onto lap 57.
Yeah, and I got my eyes back a little bit further. You got Brandon Gagnon in 9th, and Jason Maines is right behind him with Jonathan Cadell right there. So if you see a couple guys like your Jason Maines, Brandon Gagnon hook up, they're generally coming to the front. So keep your eyes on those guys as well, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, there's a couple of fast guys back there just haven't been able to make some moves pending, you know, all the cautions or, you know, 2 or 3 wide situations where it kind of caused some log jams there on the field. And we also seen a couple guys kind of cycle back, like Kenny Coppola. We talked about him that last restart or two running up there in the top 5. He cycled all the way back to 17th place there, that guy in the number 24 highlighter style colored truck. I wonder what's going on with them. But then you see guys like Ogburn, who's been involved in a couple wrecks, started 37th. He's found his way up to 19th. So still, after being in a couple wrecks, making some pretty decent moves out there through the field.
Absolutely. And you got, don't forget back here as well, you got Bradley Wilson. I know he had a little bit of damage. He's hanging on back here in 18th position. He's a guy that you're going to have to keep your eye on. If he does get that thing fixed with that fast repair later on in the race, he will be back up front. So he was very fast early, probably just biding his time right now.
Yeah, Mr. Cadell, 32nd to 9th place, the highest moving truck in this field in that 69 machine. As he's got open track now to try to make some gains with the draft. A lot of people up in the top half of the field there, Jeremy, single filed out. The first side-by-side, you're not seeing it until what's about 15th place or so with the 53 and the or 83 and the 24 of Coppola.
Yep.
As they're starting to make some moves here.
And I did tell you that when Andrew Navarro and Ethan Lane get hooked up, they can be very dangerous. So I've seen this movie before, Jay Stam. It usually is curtains. So it's going to be up to these guys behind them to really kind of tuck it in and draft with each other, catch back up to them, and not let them out of their sight. They cannot lose the draft on these two, or it will be trouble. Now, the other interesting thing that is coming up is we're coming up on a fuel window here. Fuel window is generally under green flag conditions going to be anywhere from 35 to 40 in the draft if you're actively saving. So who further back in the pack is going to want to make a gamble, go in early, and hope a caution doesn't come out? It's going to be interesting. We're going to see how this plays out here coming up here shortly.
Yeah, it's 45 lap stint if they can make it green all the way through the rest of this event. That's just outside the fuel window. So yeah, do you split this race in half? Do you wait till the last minute to take the least amount of fuel possible of the truck? That's going to be where time decides that factor as these laps tick down.
Going to be interesting. Here in a few laps as the fuel window will open up. So if there's some people maybe in the middle of the pack would want to take that gamble, it might go green. You never know. We've had a few cautions already, but generally this is when things start to settle up. As you can see up front, everyone's single file.
Yeah, a lot of trucks have calmed down. It is the mid-race lull. I mean, we got to make it to the end. We've seen some cautions, so these guys know, hey, we need to make this thing to the finish if we want to be up front. And so we're starting to see that. I expect to see some trucks down in pit road as early as 5 to 10 laps. But a majority of the field, I think they're going to stick it out, hope for another caution or two. As there it is, 7th time this evening. We got a caution here at Michigan, and it looks like it's going to be the 21. No, not 21, the 17. They're on the back stretch. 71. Tim Tripler. We just talked to him not terribly long ago. He was involved in a wreck with the 77. It looks like maybe the 20 as they had a little slowdown situation on the exit of turn number 2. Collected him and 2 other trucks to bring up the 7th caution.
Oh, yeah. It was actually, looks like it was Brandon Zimmerman may have come down on the truck below him, which was Joe Campbell. They got together, slid up the track right into Mr. Tripler there. And I know he was just trying to keep his team clean, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, he had tons of room there. It almost looks like the truck had gotten loose mid-turn 1 into 2. Door check to 77, and then, yeah, just slams Tripler there up against the wall. So those 2 trucks, more than likely done. I don't know if Brandon has a fast repair left. As he's on pit road now, it doesn't look like it because there's still damage to that truck. So that might be the ending for Brandon tonight.
Yeah, it could be the end of his race if he doesn't have another one. It is a shame. But as I was saying, I mean, it's, when you're got multi-groove racing here, it's hard to predict where people are going to go and where they're not. So, coming in hot on pit road, but he's looking to get out number one for sure.
These guys are heading down pit road after they all cycle through. See if we can't get a word with our last in-race reporter, Mr. Dustin Sorber. Wait for his pit stop to complete, then we'll try to pull him in. But this is 7 cautions. You definitely want to predict the short run the rest of the way, I think, in my book. There's no way that the long run's going to happen. This is the end of the pit window, so there will be no green flag pit stops. It's all caution pitting from here. Unlimited tires that we mentioned earlier. So come in and get them as many times as needed. You saw Holmesy set that standard of saying, hey, this is not going to be a thing. He lost 30 spots in 2 laps because of it. So definitely want to make sure at Michigan you want those fresh tires.
It's like Adam Gillette missed his pit stall there, had to back up. It looks like he came in 5th and came out, trying to figure out, looks like 8th. So lost a couple spots there, missing his pit stall. It happens. Happens to the best of us. He'll be back up there for sure.
Just gradually missed it. Didn't affect him too much, but a couple spots. And there's a lot of draft here. But still, how the race has been going on, you want to be up front regardless, to try to take care of those tires as much as you can for that long run. If we do get a long run. But we're going to try to bring in now Mr. Sorber. See if we can get a quick word with him. Mr. Dustin, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Hey, it's Jeremy up in the NERDtv booth. From your perspective, I know you've been about midfield this entire race. It's been pretty chaotic out there. What's your thoughts so far in this 100 lapper here at Michigan?
It's been pretty fun. It's been kind of hard to avoid everything, but I think we can put a good green run here for everybody and hopefully have a good finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little bit hectic back in the pack there. I think we spoke to somebody earlier who was saying kind of the same thing. We're just trying to stay safe back here. So anything you've noticed in particular that has been working better in the draft as opposed to maybe with clean air as far as your running line?
I noticed with the draft, if you're more up high, it seems to get a better run coming off. But pretty much if you're on the bottom, you're not really gaining much in the draft.
Okay. Yeah, we've been noticing that while watching just some of the leaders even. They seem to, if they're in the draft, they seem to want to stay a couple lines up. So it's been interesting to watch, and I wish you the best of luck, man. You got your work cut out for you back there in the middle of the pack coming down to it. So we expect to see a lot of craziness coming up.
Oh yeah, you guys haven't seen nothing yet.
We're looking forward to, man. Good luck out there. I'll bring you back down.
All right, thanks, guys.
And that was Dustin Sorber, our third in-race reporter this evening. Appreciate those guys for coming through mid-race to have a word with us for the past 3 cautions. But we are set for the 7th restart this evening. Green flag is out, and Andrew Navarro with an awesome jump this time over the 99 of Clint Stone. Garrett Maines is the second guy on the bottom here in that black and yellow truck. You know those colors because he never reps anything but those colors typically. Quickly single files out, top 5, top 6 here. You see double file here with Adam and the guy next to him on his top side looks like Braxton. As he's putting his face back out here, almost creeping into the top 5.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It looks like Clint Stone may have shut the door there on Garrett Maines, hoping for a push, and boy, did he get one. Look at that. Clint Stone out to the lead, coming out of turn 4. Let's see. Ethan is going to stick with Andrew up here, so they may shuffle Garrett out.
Yeah, temporarily still 2x2. Braxton over the back of the 48, now going to the bottom here to try to get himself into 6th place as the leaders. This is a much different scene that we saw this last restart. It's almost crunch time, right? There's no more green flag stops. Just go for it. We know the short runs are going to be a thing, so I think they finally realized it that, hey, there's no holding back. We just have to go at this point. So from this point forward, from what Dustin was saying, we haven't seen nothing yet, and I believe that.
I believe it too. here's the thing: is I think we're inside the fuel window. I think they're good to go for the rest of the time. Now, if we get 30 plus laps on a set of tires, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch because that track temp is down, but it's still 120 degrees, so it's going to be very slick. And it's almost going to. The track's going to tighten up a little bit, but it's the contact.
The contact with Adam Gillette's back bump there. It looks like it was Cadell there. Is that Cadell that was right behind him? It looks like he just made some contact as Adam slid up the track, slammed Jonathan Cadell hard on the outside wall as he's now crawling through turn 3 and 4 on the apron. You're seeing him really slow there as he's going to make his pit stop. That truck is demoed. I don't know what his fast repair situation looks like, but toward the end of the race, this looks like it might be all but done here for Jonathan.
It doesn't look like they actually made any contact. Looks like he just kind of got in his draft there and got really tight. I mean, he definitely shut the door. He pulled a little bit of a slide job on him for Adam, and yeah, Cadell just got into the outside wall. Good job keeping it out of the way, though.
Yeah, eighth caution tonight as I was about to talk about that wreck a little bit more, but we got another one on the track here. We got to find out where this one come from. Looks like somewhere toward the back of the field once again. Try to cycle through all the cameras here. Did you catch that wreck, Jeremy? I haven't seen anything of it just yet.
I haven't seen anything. Where did that come from?
Usually rely on my producer Dustin this time, but even himself is struggling to find where this thing came from. It wasn't thrown by race control, so there's something on the track that happened.
And I'm looking through everything and asking the drivers. I think we just got a phantom caution.
Oh, the old 2010 NASCAR style caution. I see it. Yeah. There was a lot of cars that weren't present on my camera angle at that time, so it could have been something where there was some lag situations where we didn't see the wreck happen. But I guess from time to time, even iRacing coding throws a caution that's not really required out there, Jeremy.
I don't know. I know Mr. Cadell, I don't know if he had a fast repair or not. If he did, he lucked out. So, yeah, he was on pit road when it was thrown, so that's huge.
Yeah, no, definitely not kidding there. Had that wall contact, came down, changed the tires, and was getting repaired.
Yeah, I don't.
And actually, you know what? Mr. Cadell has backed out of the server just a few seconds prior to that, so he did not look out. He has backed out of this event. I think that was his final deal there without the fast repair. So him and Jay McDonald also backed out of the server on this caution.
The race off pit road. It's like Navarro beat Clinton Stone off of pit road there. We'll take a look at the replay here.
Coming off, it looks like turn number 4. Don't see any issues here. Don't know if this is where it came from, but at least we're showing off what he was doing on the apron as they slow down for the caution. And that doesn't look like caution worthy. You already see him slowing down right there. So that's where iRacing, that camera angle, for those guys who don't know, that camera angle comes from iRacing saying, hey, this is where the action was on the track for a wreck. Clearly there was nothing on that camera angle. So even iRacing itself did not know where his own caution came from. But let's kind of regroup the field here for the 8th time, though. Give him a nice little, 28 lap shootout here?
Yep. And it looks like Jeremy Garand stayed out. Okay, so he's going to be on about 6 laps older tires. That's going to put him anywhere from 3 to 4 tenths off the mark. So interesting choice here. Maybe he's hoping for another caution as well. I don't know. We saw Mr. Holmes do that earlier, and he was well off the pace. You said it was like 1st to 31st in 2 laps. So it's going to be interesting. I've raced with Jeremy before. He's a competent driver, and we're going to see exactly how this works out for him, because he's got some hitters up there with him right now with Andrew Navarro. Clint Stone, Ethan Lane, Garrett Maines, Jeffrey Marble, Adam Gillette, Braxton DeWeese, Jason Maines, and Tyler Marble. So rounding out the top 10, that is going to be, it's like you said, it's crunch time. We're going to see a lot of drivers absolutely putting it down right now, trying to get as many spots as they can. And speaking of that, it looks like Bradley Wilson may have got his damage fixed. Nope, he did not. Never mind.
So he's going to have to struggle here for the next 28 laps as these guys try to tackle through the last fourth of this event. 28, I'm going to keep my eye on Jeremy Garand here for the first few laps. I know he's not going to be able to hold this lead from everybody else with the fresh tires, but I'm curious now. I was listening to Ronald Holmes' radio as he was getting pushed back through the field, whenever he stayed out, and he had not a fun time at all. People are passing him left and right really fast, 3 wide. He was getting a little upset with how things were running. We're going to see how the 28 can handle this situation. He gets an excellent jump over Andrew Navarro here on the restart. Shoots to the top side really quick because he knows his truck's not going to maintain speed with these guys. Quickly lets him by, but at least he can say, hey, I led a lap here in this invitational.
Yeah, like I said, I think he might be hoping for a caution here. If he can stick it out maybe around the top 15 or so. I don't know where he was at before the caution, but if he can stick around the top 15, I think, in 4 or 5 laps, I think people come back in for a new set of tires. I really do. So.
Yes, he's already drafting back already to 6th place. About to fall back into 7th as the number 2 of Adam does pass him. And then Braxton now looking to the bottom side where the draft is all at right now. He's going to get around him shortly. As we're side by side for the race lead. Garrett Maines going 3 wide, entering turn 1.
Look at this. These guys, just crazy push coming off. Those guys that run that middle groove, they kind of get a little bit of the best of both worlds. And he had, trying to figure out who that was there. I think it was Ethan Lane. Had a really good push for Andrew Navarro and then kind of fell back to the back there. So interesting racing up front. People are really going for it now. This is when the race gets exciting for everybody. You see Andrew Navarro sliding to the top there to take away the draft from Garrett Maines. Looks like they're going to try to shuffle him out again.
They know that guy has some late race speed, so what they can do with him, the more the merrier to try to separate that gap there. I'm actually surprised to see Jeremy Garand there in the 28. He is maintaining top 10 in that 28 machine with the older tires, 6 laps difference. He's holding up some incredible speed considering the fact that his tires are much older than these guys.
Yeah, with 4 laps difference is different than 14, that's for sure. With 4 laps, you got to drive the heck out of it, but you can do it. You can maintain it for a few laps, and I honestly believe that was probably his goal. It's not a bad choice there for strategy. It's interesting. Let's see how it turns out for him.
Yeah, I think he was around a 15th place after I was looking back before that caution, so he gained a bunch of spots, and he fell back to 11th that last lap, actually, but still much better than where he was previous. So far, the strategy is going to work for that 28. Maybe he's banking on that 9th caution. If all the trends point in the right direction, that will be a thing, but going back up once again to the race lead, the 42 has separated themselves about 3 car lengths. Adam Gillette making some big moves. Started back there in what 6th or 7th place, now up to 2nd place on the inside of Garrett, heading off into turn number 1.
It was an absolutely massive run through 3 and 4 there to got some side draft into the corner and really shoved it in there as far as going down to the bottom in turn 3 and 4. That was awesome. Didn't get much help though, and now he's starting to slide back again. As Clint Stone, Andrew Navarro and Garrett Maines are pretty locked in right now.
Being a personal friend of Andrew Navarro, I would like to say that picture of him is spot on. Spot on.
Does that match his looks or his personality or both?
Well, definitely his personality. Probably not so much the looks, but
as these guys
Jeffrey Marble back in 5th has run just an exceptional race. He really has. Very consistent. He's got Ethan Lane back there behind him with Braxton DeWeese. It looks like Jason Maines and Brandon Gagnon rounding those guys out. So These are guys that are patient drivers. Speaking about just Gagnon in particular, Jason Maines are very patient. We might see these guys up here by the end of this thing if it goes green.
Yeah, we haven't spoke much from Mr. Marble here in that 15, who's now currently in top 5. I think this is the highest position he has been all race long on lap 79 of scheduled 100. And he is definitely playing that patient game. His corners are buttery smooth. I don't see any wiggle, consistent lines every single time. This might be a strategy that could be working. I don't see a single scratch in that truck.
These guys up front are just playing musical chairs with this 3rd through 4th position. It's so much fun to watch. And Jeffrey Marble's got a perfect view of that whole battle. He's just kind of riding it out up there like he's done all race. And like you said, he's in the top 5 spot right now. It's paid off for him. Clean truck, too.
Got some decent racing here just around top 10. TJ Elaine was making some moves with some guys, and you see the 51 of Wilson back there with the 28 as well of Jeremy Garand, who started first in that last restart. Still maintaining a pretty decent pace considering the tire difference there for that 28, but slowly but surely just backing it on down. Oh, that 83 gets clipped by the 48 as we're just talking about them. They're 3 wide, and somehow, Jeremy... Oh, now they go. There's more wrecks.
There it is.
Yeah, they almost had it going straight, and then a secondary wreck happened right after that. Looks like the 16 into the side panel of the 28 of Jeremy Garand, trying to maybe overcompensate for the wreck that was happening below him. Sends him into the wall and brings out the 9th caution on lap 80.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the cause of that. It just looks like Tyler Marble just barely touched the back of Gagnon there. Gagnon may have even been a little bit loose beforehand and had to check up, and he just got into the back of him, clipped him, and the rest was it just kind of chain reaction from there. So, wow. It was a good save by Gagnon, though.
Yeah, the 83, I'm going to have to concur with you. Looking over the far chase camera in particular, truck got a little bowed up, a little turned to the left. It looked like it was all loose. And then the 48 just didn't check up enough, tagged him, sent him down. And those guys actually, him and the 6 truck did an excellent job to not wreck. But then the 16 overreacted, moved up too high, and that's where the secondary incident happened. And that's what brought out the 9th caution.
Oh, little contact on pit road there. Garrett Maines and Andrew Navarro getting together coming up to the cone.
Trying to maximize everything here. Put a little fun pressure on each guys, even on pit road.
Reaction after. Ooh, hard hits.
Another. Oh, 17. I didn't even see him until right there. Just came through at the last moment. Made a heavy contact there, which I think I saw smoke come off that thing as soon as he hit him. So that engine might have expired as well from that 17.
Yeah.
I'll have to see what that situation looks like for that team, but
that's not good. Replay of the 83 there. That save was unbelievable.
Well, let's take a look here, but this is on board the 16 as he flexed the outside wall there. Looking on board, everybody sneaking through, and there's 17. Hits him so hard it broke the roof camera. Oh, there it comes. Come back. As he's pointing the right way, but at the wrong direction at pit road, parked. That's unfortunate. That's actually the 8 there.
Yeah, that's a tough way to end your night. I've been there before. It's not fun. That means we have 1, 2, 3. That's 10 drivers now expired and out of the race, it looks like. Nope, Miles Morris is still here, so 9.
These guys try to cycle through get back onto the track about a lap and a half before we go back to green flag. We'll be on lap 84. See that roof
cam from Tim Tripler, man. He just tried to pick a lane and just scoot through there and just clipped him at the end. It's so heartbreaking. It's so hard to navigate through those wrecks. Because you just see smoke and people checking up. You got to pick a lane.
You don't know if they're going to stay high. You don't know if they're going to wash down. It's really, especially at the speeds here at Michigan, coming off the corner, 160 miles an hour. It's, snappy decisions, and sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. It is what it is, especially with that particular incident, Jeremy, because there was trucks on the bottom that were upset and then trucks at the top at the same time. So you really just had to make a guesstimation as to which lane you wanted to choose.
Absolutely. And it's like, when it works out for you and you make the right decision, you look like a genius, You're like, I've seen quite a few iRacers that are really good at doing that. And I was never able to get the skill. Like, your Raja Caruths, guys like that are so good at avoiding wrecks. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know how they do that. They have this. I've done a few and I've looked great doing it. And then I just, I've also made some really bonehead ones too. And it's never easy. Hindsight's always 20/20 on it.
Look at this, Jeremy, before I go to green flag here. Look who's first place. Another one of these guys who are going to try to make this no-stop strategy work for him. This time, that 46 of Kenny Haight, we talked to him about 30 laps ago. He's starting this race in P1. See what he can do for the first few laps in this event.
He's going to be on 11-lap older tires. So this is probably going to be similar to how it worked out for Holmesy.
Yeah, we're going to probably see him quickly drop back. He's going to get his lap led. Let's see if he goes to the bottom or to the top to let them by. We'll figure that out here very momentarily as the pace car is down for the 9th time. Let's see if we can bring home these final 17 laps under green flag, the flagman early as possible. Ready to go. The 46, Kenny Haight with a decent start here over Garrett and Andrew as they're side by side, 2nd and 3rd place, but temporarily Kenny Haight off into turn number 1 all by himself.
No, he's not going to take it to the top. He's going to race him hard. Here comes Garrett, though. Garrett and Andrew go right down low, and away they go. But he did get to lead his lap. So congratulations to Kenny on that one. Wow.
Andrew pushing the 31 through turn number 2 as well. I'm surprised they didn't get loose at all. Shoves him through, passes the 46 and 99 to Clint as well, passes the 46, and now the 15 there, Mr. Marble, going to find himself in 4th place for the first time.
Oh, they were loose. They just somehow held on to it. I don't know how they do that, man. That was great driving.
Excellent driving and allowed. 42 temporarily with the race lead right now. 46, Kenny Haight cycles back to 6th place as Braxton now is on the bottom and Adam Gillette now on the top. Oh, the 46 gets loose right in front. Oh, he makes contact with Adam. Huge wreck. The 83, 51, 48, 46 all involved in this wreck, and as well as the number 2. 6 trucks involved for the 10th caution this evening.
Wow. Crazy how fast that can stack up. And, I was just looking at the 51 there of Bradley Wilson. He did not take his fast repair before that wreck. So that strategy paid off for him. Oof. Yeah, it looks like Adam Gillette got into the wall there.
Yeah, this is... Do you come down for tires? Do you make that pit stop choice as they cycle through this time? Like, it was only a couple laps.
You have unlimited sets of tires. I feel like you have to here, but let's see, 85. Maybe the guys that pit on 82 stay out. But it looks like Kenny Haight there he got loose on those old tires, came up into Adam Gillette, and it was a chain reaction from there.
He definitely made a strategy call. And with the older tires, you expect your truck to be a little upset there with the worn Goodyear rubber and a cold tire. It's just not a great combination. So he did the best what he could, but he got loose. He would have corrected if the 2 wasn't there. You can't fault him per se. He tried to make the most of it, but unfortunately he did tag the 2, and that's what set a lot of trucks there spinning off on the apron.
I don't think you can fault him. He made a strategy call. It didn't work out. But at the same time, just from a driver's point of view, you're absolutely faulting him. It's like one of those things where you're just seething mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, it didn't work out for him. And unfortunately, some good trucks got involved in that wreck.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There's definitely a couple sides of the story. And if you're the driver, you're like, what is this guy doing on the track? Does not belong up here. But it's easy for us to go, you know what? That was a pretty bold strategy up there for that 46 to be
bold strategy. Didn't work out. The other guys on the track, man, we're not playing that audio, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely don't want to do that because, might not be too happy for a lot of those guys. But while we're under caution, we're going to do a quick shout out to TWRS. House has come from the most stable and competitive setups on the iRacing platform, known for their off-road truck setups. TWRS will have you up front, flag to flag, and winning races with ease. That's Team Watson Racing Setups, and also at T1S Racing, a sim racing team on the iRacing platform since 2020, housing some of the fastest, cleanest drivers on the simulation with more than 300 official and league victories to their name. Another one of those great guys out there that are producing setups and doing a really good job with it. Love to see the overall support. There's so many different individuals and groups out there that kind of work together on the long haul. I know sometimes there's some things that go awry, but generally the community is really close, and we're showing support to quite a few of them. Just gotta love to see some collaborations, you know?
Absolutely. And to see them all, you know, we have multiple setup shops, multiple, you know, design companies, and it just all coming together for one cause here for Pete. And so it's great to see. That is one thing about the iRacing community. You know, it can get a little toxic at times because there are a bunch of competitors in one spot. You know, it's going to get a little toxic. It's going to get a little heated, but coming together for a good cause, something like this is just awesome to see.
Yeah, even if you have any differences, you kind of put them aside for something like this invitational. But yeah, you got some of the really good guys out there that are side by side. There's going to be some things that happen. Doesn't matter if you're in the virtual world, the real world. It's just part of the nature, and that's, you know. But the cool thing is we can still be friends at the end of the night after we hang up the helmets or the steering wheels, whatever the case is. But these guys are going to be on 11 laps to go, actually 12 to go, as they come to the green flag here when the pace car does drop down for the 10th time. Quick shout out once again to the two establishments and patrons tuning into this event of that Smarty Saloon and Shelley's Rainbow Bar. Hopefully you guys are enjoying tonight's event. I know it's been quite action-packed with all the cautions and a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing as well. So it's a mix of the good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between. Overall, I think it's a pretty exciting event here. These guys are ready. Pace car is down. Andrew this time is going to lead everybody to the field with Garrett Maines to his top side. Clint with the 42. Great start by them, and actually the 99 beats the 31 to second place at the line. I guess that's all fairness when you get an excellent start that time, but great start there by Clint.
Yeah, they may have been working together on that one. That's what it looked like to me anyway, but trying to get some space there, trying to put a car between, Andrew's trying to put a car between him and Garrett, and that's pretty smart.
Ronnie.
So what I'm looking back at here is Jeffrey Marble in 4th place. Running, or actually that's Ethan Lane, I'm sorry. But just, you know, great fun from Jeffrey Marble back there. Braxton DeWeese is another one. Seems to be in the competition. We haven't called his name much, but he's there when it's come down to it. So it's going to be an interesting finish here.
He's got a fan base, Mr. Braxton, out there. He's got Chris DeWeese out there in the chat saying, let's go number 8. We also got Doug out there saying, bring her home, number 8, Braxton. He's got quite a few people rooting for him. Oh, and he gets a little loose in return number 3. I don't know if that was contact. I quickly glanced over to see that happen. Looks like maybe contact with the 77, but he's able to keep it straight. He lost about 3 or 4 positions there. Now he's 3 wide. Exited turn number 4. I'm also on the chats. Ronnie Miller also saying time to go, Braxton. And then a couple hashtag stay strong Pete. So keep the chats up, guys.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. It looks like a little bit of contact coming into turn 3 there. So he's got some ground to make up.
Fan base did not want to see that, but thankfully he didn't wreck and he's able to keep marching forward. Head back to the front, the 15 making some moves now on the top side. This time of Ethan Lane trying to get back into 4th place as they almost go 3 wide just momentarily, but they kind of single file out here for the most part. 77 drops to the bottom to try to help that momentum for the few trucks that are looking down there. 15 looks like he's a little left to right there on the front stretch. Not sure what that's about.
Jason Maines is up here now. This is the guy I was telling you about. Very patient driver. It looks like he's finally up here in a top 5 spot. Probably looking to help Garrett, I would guess. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just going to guess.
As much as I have respect for those two, Jason and Garrett, You know they're going to work together here toward the end of this race. As much as I have respect for those guys, it is sometimes a pain to race them because they work so well together. It's really hard to make any advancement on those two because they do it just so well. See the 77 go down to the inside here of Jason. Is they're going to go 3 wide here. That's
Coppola taking it 3 wide into turn 1. Wow.
And Mr. Coppola trying to make some moves here. Still 3 wide. And he makes heavy contact to the 25 and 15. Oh, that's no good. And no caution yet. No caution. That's impressive considering that massive amount of impact there. Man, that sends the 15 to Jeffrey Marble, who's had such a phenomenal, clean race so far.
Yeah.
And Jason, being that patient driver, you said, unfortunate.
It's like, the 77 was running it in there, and it looks like he was trying to stay on that seam, and it just didn't stick. And he came back up, and it took those two with him, like two good trucks. But that's how it goes at the end. You're racing hard.
It definitely, the 77 had washed up a little bit, but I also think the 25 adjacent slightly thought that 77 was going to go below the second groove into the first groove and kind of just met, right in the middle of that second groove. The most surprising thing to me was no caution, but going back up to the at least 6 places. Oh, there's more contact. As soon as I cycle back, the 51, 77, and 34 does bring up the 11th caution this evening. Man, 3 wide action there. Once again, this time it's going to be worse for the 77 as he gets tagged by the 34. And Mr. Wilson, nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looks like he just got his truck fixed, too. Wow. He was working his way back up, but it's like the 34. Yeah, 34 looks like some net code there. Honestly, I know iRacing doesn't like us to say that word, but there it is.
We're drivers out here in this simulation, and you can't keep quiet. I can race some cars and be door banging, no problem. But when it comes to these stock cars, the trucks, Xfinity and Cup, there is so much net code, and there was probably almost a foot amount of space between those two trucks when the contact was made.
Coppola and Douthwaite, yep. Oh,
yeah. So there was a little left to right from those guys, but at the end of the day, they should not have made that contact, and that's unfortunate.
That was just really good hard racing, and they did not get rewarded for it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here as far as the pit situation.
You see that there, Mr. James Watson also gets involved.
You're going to have, 3 or 4 to go. So who's coming down? Andrew stays out. Wow.
Yeah, I think they'll be restarting on lap 98, which will be a 3-lap shootout. Let's see if we can keep the caution at 11. As these guys, some stay out, some make pit stops. Andrew Navarro is going to lead this field off for the 11th restart. Clint, the person he worked with on that last restart, he's going to be on the outside this time. Do you think he gets the jump and allows the 99 to the bottom, or do you think maybe like the 54 or 26 of Ethan Lane, do you think he gets a great jump and kind of assists himself in the bottom?
This is going to be really interesting for strategy. I think that I counted 10 drivers that stayed out. Maybe 9 with the lucky dog. So
that lucky dog is Garrison Ogburn. You saw him fly by on the top side of the track through turn 1 and 2.
Because the leaders right now are on tires from when they pit on lap 82. If there's only 9 to 10 cars or trucks in between them, it's going to be interesting. 3 laps to go. It's going to be really interesting. Get ready. Buckle up.
What do you think? Do we see that last caution?
I'm thinking these guys on these new tires are going to come storming through. I don't know how many cars are separating them is my thing, and I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Well, as we try to figure out that estimation, the last time I ran here at Michigan, I had that same situation where the guys that were back in 15th place had tires. My tires are only 10 laps old. I got my doors blown off me, and I could have been top 5, and I finished in 15th. So sometimes strategy plays in your favor way more than what you think. The 42, these guys have been up front for so long, but at the end of the day, if you make that right call and drop back temporarily, you might be in a spot that you haven't been all race long, which is up in the front.
This is going to be a 3-lap shootout. There are 13 trucks on old tires. So this is going to be a 3-lap shootout. I don't know. This is going to be really interesting. The first truck with new tires is Matthew Keekly. I apologize if I'm butchering that name, but it looks like he is going to be the first one. And then you've got Anthony Rennick, William George, Bradley Stefan, Jeremy Guerin, the guy McConey setup shop driver who took the gamble earlier. He's on new tires as well. Jeffrey Marble. Jason Maines obviously just used his fast repair. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy finish.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens here as these guys go for a 3-lap shootout to end the Pete Polini Invitational. 100 laps at Michigan. Andrew bottom, Clint top. I expect, Jeremy, that turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 on this first lap, you're going to see a lot of activity on that top side of the track as the guys with fresh tires try to lead the charge. We try to go around all these guys that are going to be protecting the bottom, but green flag is out. A lot of truck squirrely on this restart of the older tires. Not playing a favor on this hot, slick surface. They're already 3 wide with Garrett Maines in the middle. Clint on the top here, and see if they cycle through. And it looks like so far it's clean through turn 1 and 2. Head off on the backstretch.
He's going to switch lanes now. He's going all the way to the bottom, 3 wide.
Oh,
Andrew Navarro.
TJ contact with Adam, and Adam again gets shuffled to the bottom.
One in the grass.
Can he keep it down? Can the 2 keep it? He slides. Great job.
He did.
Great handling there
from the 2.
Out of this event, but awesome job. Kudos to you for keeping it straight. We're on 2 laps to go. The 26 gets shuffled to the top side of the track with a huge shove to the 42, and that's going to put him 3 wide with 2 laps to go.
Navarro going 3 wide here. Ethan Lane holding up top. Garrett's going to cross him over, but now Andrew's got his pusher here, so let's see what happens down the backstretch.
Oh, more contact there. The 26 bumps the 42, shovels the 31 down to the bottom. He's going to drop back to 3rd place. Ethan Lane's going to resume 2nd place as he just about clears Garrett Maines here as they come through turn 3 and 4 as they head off to the white flag. Next flag will end this event.
Clint dropping down below the apron here. He's trying to get it. Didn't get any help. He's going to have to tuck up behind Jason and make it interesting here for the last lap.
Side by side, entering turn 1, the 42 and the 26 here of Ethan Lane. Let's see if Ethan can get... I think this might be his first lap led here. If he can hold this off, he gets a great launch off the top. He's going to clear the 42 temporarily as they come off into turn number 3. It's all the room right now for Ethan Lane, and that 26 drops it down just low enough to block the inside charge, it looks like. Ethan Lane comes off of turn number 4 as we're almost going to go 3 wide, blocks them both. Martin Sports winning moment here. Ethan Lane brings it home for the Pete Polini Invitational 100.
What a finish. Ethan took that turn 1 with 1 to go there. He took it super wide into the corner there, hoping to get the run off, and boy did he, and he held off Garrett Maines and Andrew Navarro. What a finish.
A lot of excitement in those final few laps. A lot of positions changed in a really short amount of time there, and Ethan Lane figures out how to do it best. I think he only led a couple of laps there, Jeremy, but one of those laps meant the most, which was lap 100.
Absolutely. That was and again, I haven't raced with him in a while, but that was one of the more patient performances I've seen from Ethan Lane, and boy, did it pay off. What a great finish, a great win for Ethan Lane. I mean, the top 4 were up there the entire race. I mean, we have Ethan Lane, Garrett Maines, Andrew Navarro, Clint Stone. I mean, just exceptional racing.
As we're going to see that 26 decided whether or not he wants to do a burnout, temporarily holding off, going to drive to the wall. There he goes. He starts to burn him down as he is the winner of the first ever Pete Polini Invitational. All for the great cause, and I'm sure he's ecstatic to get this thing into victory lane. We'll talk to him here in just a little bit as he continues to burn him down. But as he does so, Jeremy, it's time to go over the NERDtv's unofficial finishing results. Ethan Lane going to bring home P1. Garrett Maines, hard charge there, is going to finish in 2nd place. Andrew Navarro 3rd. Clint Stone in 4th, TJ Lane 5th, Braxton DeWeese in 6th, Tyler Marble in 7th, Jeffrey Marble in 8th, Mario Urcolani in 9th, and to round out tonight's top 10, Tim Wortman Jr.
William George takes home 11th tonight. Anthony Rennick in 12th. Dustin Sorber in 13th. Jeffrey Eddy in 14th. Matthew Keekley in 15th. Miles Morse in 16th. Jason Main 17th. Jeffrey Wallace in 18th. And in 19th is Adam Gillette. And Clayton White rounds out the top 20.
Everybody else one lap down and more. 21st, Bradley Stefane. 22nd, Jeremy Garand. 23rd, Bradley Wilson. 24th, David Duwaith. 25th, Kenny Coppola. 26th place, Ronald Holmes. 27th, Garrison Ogburn. 28th, James Watson. 29th place, Joe Campbell. And tonight's 30th place driver, Kenny Haight.
Brandon Gagnon in 31st. Tim Tripler in 32nd. EJ Marshall 33rd. 34th is Byron McDonald. Matt Malone in 35th. Jonathan Cadell in 36th. 37th is Brandon Zimmerman. Brian Whitney is 38th. 39th is Scott Bryant. And that will round it out.
And that definitely rounds out the finishing order here for the Pete Polini Invitational. And we're going to kick it over to a commercial break for the last time as we get the top 3 situated for their post-race interviews. We'll be right back with you guys after a few short messages.
The Moonlight? Community-based and talent-driven, Moonlight Speed Concepts has what you need to take your iRacing experience to the next level. Founded by passionate owners that care about the community and housing some of the top setup builders and drivers on the platform, Moonlight Speed Concepts offers custom paints, driver coaching, and setups for dirt, asphalt short track racing, and e-NASCAR competition. Partnered with top brands in both real world and simulation. Follow us on Facebook or visit moonlightspeed.com and find out why these businesses chase the moonlight and why you should too. Moonlight Speed Concept, where all we chase is moonlight.
The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
And welcome back to Nerd TV, where we got the top 3 now lined up, ready for their post-race interviews here for the Pete Polini Invitational. First person to come to the channel is going to be number 42 of Andrew Navarro with an excellent run all the way through, just short there at the very end. Mr. Andrew, do you got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey man, walk us through that race. Minus the 11 cautions that happened, the front group of cars, or trucks rather, diced it up 3 wide all race long, lots of side by side. Walk us through that event.
Yeah, it was a great track and combo, especially considering Pete's from Michigan. Wide enough track. We were going 3 wide all race. A lot of fun. You really just wanted to be in the lead at any point that you could, knowing that there was going to be a caution possibly. And unfortunately, at the end, we weren't able to get it. But that was very fun, and we're racing for a great cause. So
Yeah, that's all that truly mattered there was for the cause itself, and have to take it to that final restart. What was your thoughts as you came up to the green flag, and what do you think maybe you could have done different to kind of keep that 42 in first place?
I could have blocked a little bit more, but I wasn't gonna do that. It's a charity race. We're all there just to have fun, and I think everyone was just dicing and going for it. So it was that last restart. Those final few laps was very fun with everyone going 3 wide and putting blocks and everybody pushing and shoving. So I mean, I don't really think I could have done anything better. I think it was a lose-lose situation once we got to the backstretch, unfortunately. But happy to come out with a P3.
Yeah, 39 or 40 entries and come up P3 is awesome to see. Congratulations though on making third place happen. But the floor is yours, man. Final thoughts? Anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting, everybody for putting this event on. Pete, he was a great friend of mine. We used to be teammates and worked together, and everybody at Celebrity Cruises, Seven Seas Corporate Cruises, Martin Sports, Premier, and Tranquility Sports. That's about it.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, man. Go ahead and celebrate with the team on a hard fought, very fun looking third place finish.
And fourth, thank you.
You got it. And that was your third place finisher, Andrew Navarro. Now, Jeremy, who do you got there in second place?
Second place finisher tonight was Garrett Maines. Garrett, you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was good to see you in this race tonight, Garrett. Take me through that. I mean, the 11 cautions and a lot of downtime there aside, the unlimited tires. It had to be a lot of fun out there. You guys were kind of dicing it up all race up front. Take me through your mindset there, just, for the first 80 laps or so. Just trying to survive up there, or how was that?
For the first 80 laps, I think I kept lying to myself that, we'll go green, and I just kept riding and then realized this is stupid. I should go to the front. And once I did that, it was like everybody up there, the last 20 laps, it's like balls to the wall. Nobody was giving anything. It was, as much pace as you could make. So it was fun. I just knew I didn't have any help because everybody up there was being very, very friendly with each other. And I know Clint and Andrew are in the same Discord, so I was waiting on some help and I never got it. But
yeah,
I was able to sneak into the top 3, so I'll take it.
I think I had made that call at one point. I was like, man, I think Andrew's trying to put a little bit of distance between him and Garrett there, but it sure did look like a lot of fun. And, it's for me, honestly, for a race like this, for the cause that it's for, the one thing about, iRacing is you get a bunch of competitors together and it can get a little toxic and heated at times, but to see a bunch of names and a bunch of people and companies come together for something like this, how much does that mean to you?
Yeah, this was a super cool event, and I'm glad I actually got to be a part of it because I've been going for work the last few weekends, and my dad reminded me while I was laying on the couch today. He was like, "You running that race this afternoon?" I was like, "Oh, wait." So I'm really glad Scott let me in there at the last second. He had told me about it a few months ago, but I had totally forgot to even register it. It just slipped my mind. So it's really fun to be able to race tonight and for a really good cause. I haven't talked to Pete in probably about a year. I remember when he first got the diagnosis, and it's definitely really neat to be able to come out tonight and hopefully everything tonight, that money makes a difference for him.
Absolutely, man. Uh, once again, congratulations on your finish. Taking the silver tonight, unfortunately, but it looked like a heck of a lot of fun. Floor is yours, man. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I got to give a huge shout out to ChevyLiners.com, Leaf Filter Gutter Protection, MCU Body, Linux, Colleague Racing, Elliott Sadler Esports. Shout out to my dad. Hopefully, next time we get to battle up there together. I know he was coming, but I got cut short a little bit at the end. But it's a really fun race.
Awesome. Thank you, Garrett.
And that was your second place finisher, Mr. Garrett Maines. Announced time to bring in the guy who brought home the checker flag this evening, Mr. Ethan Lane. Do you have a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Congratulations on bringing home the checker flag for the Pete Polini Invitational. That race was insane to watch. Your truck wasn't up there in first or second for the most part of that event, but you found some speed late in that run, or the back half of the race, I should say. And after 11 cautions, you found yourself P1. Just kind of walk us through the event on your perspective and how things went for you tonight.
Well, like Garrett said a few minutes ago, we thought we were gonna get long runs. That changed after probably like the fourth caution. We were like, all right, we're not gonna get long runs. There's no really reason to ride. So after that, we were kind of like testing the waters, seeing like how long the tires would last, how long you could push them for. Um, and after that, after like lap 90, we're like, all right, it's just full out go now. And it was just all about timing the runs right to where you could be up front at the right time.
Yeah, and there's so many different restarts and variables too. It was kind of probably hard to figure out exactly where to be and what to do. And coming down to that last restart there with 3 laps to go, what was your mindset going to that green flag and then closing out the race in P1?
On the start, it was to get Andrew out front. That was the main thing, getting us both 1-2 at the time. And then just waiting for the right time to take it to the outside, because I knew that would be the right spot to be able to get the momentum off corner exit and just like ride that momentum down the back stretch into 3 to clear us off of 4.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. And Mr. Kors, you have anything you'd like to add before we set off into the sunset here with Mr. Ethan?
Yeah, just Andrew and Garrett had mentioned just what it's like to see like there are a lot of different names, a lot of people that race against each other. You put all these competitors on one track, things get heated, things get toxic at times, but it's good to see the community come together for an event like this. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's definitely great. Because there are times within iRacing, there's a lot of toxicity, a lot of hate towards each other, but it's great to come together for a night like this, for this event that we put on, for the money that we've raised over the past however long it's been. We've been trying to raise this money for. It's going to a good cause, to help out Pete and his family, for what he's going through. It was a great race. It was a fun race. I didn't really hear a lot of toxicity tonight at all, which was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun watching you guys, man. It was a blast. You 4 up front and just throughout the pack, it was a great race. So congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone you love to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Y'all for putting on this broadcast, Scott for putting this together, and all the people over at Martin Sports. They've been a big help with this whole event, and a big help with our team side of things, and just the stuff they've done.
I appreciate all the kind words, man. We're going to let you go and celebrate with the team or anyone who you have to on tonight's well-deserved checker flag victory here at Michigan.
Thank you.
And that was Ethan Lane, tonight's winner of the Pete Polini Invitational. And Jeremy, final thoughts on tonight's event?
Well, I think it was exactly what we expected it to be, minus the cautions. I didn't foresee quite that many. I think I would have said maybe 6 or 7 to start the race, but it was a hot track. It was slick. You saw at least one person just lose it and cause one of those cautions. It's tough. I mean, when it gets that hot, these things are very difficult to handle, especially in extended runs. We didn't have a lot of extended runs, but there was a couple of them out there that were 16, 17 laps. And yeah, you saw it. It was just a blast to watch those guys out front. As soon as they realized, as they all told you, that there weren't going to be long runs. They just went crazy, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting too is the race started at 126 degrees on the track temp, right? We didn't see the trucks get loose to about 118, 117 degrees. So the track had cooled off almost 10 degrees before we started seeing the slipping and sliding happen. So I'm not sure what that situation was, but needless to say, it proposed a pretty good race, I would say, in my book as well. Of course, you don't want to see 11 cautions, especially an event like this. But at the end of the day, when they were green flag, they were 3 wide, they were 2 wide, they were not letting up. A lot of different lead changes, a lot of changes of position overall around the whole entire track.
The flip side to that too is if you don't have any cautions, it gets really spread out, and it could be, and you just up here talking, so there was definitely, there should be a balance, right? Just from a purely entertainment point of view. I know when I race, I prefer it goes green the whole time, but it's, it was great. It was great. It was a lot of fun. A lot of talented drivers out there tonight, and we got to see an awesome finish. So,
yeah, well said there. And before we let everyone go tonight, we have Scott Martin back here in the booth with us. Floor is yours, Scott. What do you have to say for tonight's event?
Well, not a whole lot. I had a good time. I've been bouncing around talking to all the drivers. We're trying to figure out the prize packages for them. First, second, and third each get $100. Matt Kiekel got the Charger Award, and he just got $50. So we're trying to do some stuff behind the scenes, taking care of that. I do have TJ Lane down below, who's a really good friend of Pete's, and I just want to see if we can drop him in here for about 30 seconds, let him say what he's got to say, and then I think we'll probably wrap it up.
All right, well, TJ Lane is in here, sir.
How's it going, guys?
Here we go. Sorry about that, TJ. I'm bouncing around, trying to take care of things. Give you 30 seconds. I know you know Pete. I know you want to say something. Let her rip.
Yeah, hey, I just want to thank you guys for putting this event on. I want to shout out to Pete. We love him. He's been around us for a couple of years. You guys have known him longer than us, but, we're always trying to support him and keep in touch with him as much as we can and see how he's doing. Hats off, amazing job with this race. Cautions kind of sucks, but hey, we had a good turnout, and you guys raised a lot of money for Pete. So hats off to you guys.
Well, we were able to do that with your help, my man. I'll talk to you a little bit after the race, but thank you for participating and being part of this event. I know Pete appreciates it.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
All right, buddy. Well, that about does it. Go ahead.
Yeah, before we let everyone go, thank you for the 2 bars out there at the Smarties Saloon and the Shelley's Rainbow Bar for tuning in and watching tonight's event. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it from your perspective. And we also have some sponsors as well we'd love to thank. Before we close things out, Martin Sports at Martin Sports GG. Top quality apparel that makes you look stylish and feel comfortable. See the whole apparel line at, once again, martinsports.gg. iRacing, iFlag, get notifications fractions of a second faster without your focus ever leaving the racing action. Visit iracingiflag.com for the full product line. The Butt Kicker at thebuttkicker.com. Get that ultimate feel from the race car haptic response system from the Butt Kicker. And you're going to go to thebuttkicker.com to see a full lineup of their haptic products for your sim rig. Moonlight Speed, get that quality professional built setup for all your asphalt oval needs. Visit moonlightspeed.com for pricing and packages. Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start the day the right way with Roasted Gems Coffee at roastedgems.com. Get a taste. Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles, premium hard-to-find collectibles for all your nerdum needs. Visit dustypetes.com to view their full product catalog. And then quick shout-outs as well to Octo Wraps, T1S Racing, Team Watson Racing Setups, and BRTV. And that will do it for us here at NERDtv. Thank you, everyone, for turning in to this Pete Polini Invitational. It was a blast. Had a great time. Hopefully you guys did as well. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for everyone who supported as well and scanned that QR code and donated.
Absolutely. And I think that link's still live too. So even after this race is over and broadcast is closed, feel free. Anything is appreciated. But you guys, as always, that tune in here, stay safe and to get your nerd on.